Okay, so it says I didn't begin, now it shows I did begin. The reason it's dark right now, okay, is because I watched a couple of my old videos, and it's insane. There were ghosts in the background, my face was changed, the colors of my face was changed, and even if you stop the camera and look, okay, the elements of my camera cannot do that, okay? My camera can only do a certain thing, and the images you see that it makes up can do a certain thing, so study it. I see there's differences. I see dry spots where there should be all slimy, and I was slimy in blue and slimy in yellow, and yellow, check the side of the face, the beta world. The creation of beta comes from her left side. If you're facing the 2, it's on the right, but she's facing out the 2, so it's on the left. How do I know? You ever make a phone call? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, excuse me. I gotta use the 0. I forgot about that. How many phone numbers you know have the 0 actually in it? They're just coming out now, back to the expression in the telephone. My son just got a number where the second number is 0. Now you have the expression showing up in the phones. 50, the 50th beta is done and complete. Okay, it's showing up here in Quebec on our license plates. By reverting the numbers and the letters and putting the combinations equal now in 4 and 2 and 2 and 4. Before it was 1 and 5, 1 and 6, one letter with 6 numbers, but now it's all reversed. So it's coming back, I see it here. People who have died, things they have said about them, tell me the 2 sides of the story. So I look into that. I got shut out on 3 videos. I was just measuring one of my cards on this paper, okay, and it measured out on an angle, okay, of 9 and 6. I told you about 9 and 6, because 9 is I and 6 is E, and the French say it's an E is an I, and 9 and 6 are the angels on the other side. The I world, okay, it's like a pen, okay, there's dots to other worlds, and you put the pen in the middle like a boardwalk, and we keep putting these along so we can walk along the boardwalk, the I and the E. I was going to tell you about Rubik's Cube, and I just got shut out of 3 other videos in 40 minutes. Rubik's Cube's got 3 levels, okay? It's got 1 level in the center, it's got 1 cube in the center on every single side of Rubik's Cube, okay? It's got 4 corners, okay, to 1 set face, okay? First you had the 1 center space, now you have the set space, the 1 set face. So when you're looking at pi, you're looking at the 3 up here, okay, and then these black lines that go down here and here, okay, that reveals what's in the center is this position here. So you're trying to figure out pi. In this, it shows like a T, the 3 across here. And how do I know? Well, I looked at as many designs of pi that I can find, and their design always brought back the same thing. It's how 1, 2, and 3 combined to make 1 man, which is the 4th part of the whole story, and the reason for the electronic world and the beta world in the first place is because beta is a machine. Is she? How's your car going? Oh, she's going good. She's a good baby. How's your truck going? You never say he's doing good. When it's your dog, he's good. She's good. Cats, we always say she's good. Dogs, we always say he's good. She's good. He's good. How's the machine? It's the inside of the machine. How are the insides of the machines doing? You never really ask that. You just say, in general, how's the machine? But it's the insides that make everything work. They call it a machine. It's all the parts that are put together. So when you want to talk about Rubik's Cube and pi, I got to this point, okay? For as many sticks that can go through each set, 3 rows, and as many sticks that can go through each set of these 3 rows, that's how many times you can turn pi around. I'm not really sure of the amount of times, but what you have to do in pi is, I'm going to turn on the light. I just thought maybe there would be ghosts that show up, and so you can say, oh man, look at that, there's a ghost in his house. But you might see something I don't see. I just keep it dark so they can come in through the shadows of the light. You don't believe that? It's an energy. It pushes, it pulls, it pushes. It's like a horse. Push and pull and push and pull. And the high blood pressure and the low blood pressure. The communication and the connection to what maybe one day I'm going to show you how this works out to be a rainbow. You see the tail on the bottom tucked underneath his legs? Okay, God's got his tail in, because this is the bottom of the apple, this is the top of the apple where the energy comes from, a negative and a positive. If you ever see on a club card, this end over here looks flat like this, but this end over here is showing a bubble on the club, because this comes around. It's a negative and positive energy. It goes like a snake, back up, the angle comes to beta, beta says what happens, it goes back down, goes over into the electronic world, and over to man. So much for talking about just me. How tired is beta now? We were in the dark, now we're in the light. Back in black. Did I ever discuss that? Well, if you were a rainbow, what would you want to do? Hang out in the white bright sky where nobody can see you? Or be back in black and everybody sees all your colors the way they shine, like in the ocean, connected to the ocean? What I wanted to show you is something about pi. You take these numbers here, okay? You see them all? I missed marking one. It was the 0. And I'm going to hard line the center. I'm only going to put a mark in the center, okay? I'm going to show you what happens when you hard line the numbers in pi, what happens, and why pi never stops, okay? Okay, now look what happens. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to do this in 2 takes, okay? There's a little bit of time. If you don't like it, you can fast forward it. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite it. Okay, now let me look what I did. Okay. Now this is how creation took place. Okay, I-L-U, I backward, L-U, backward line across, which marks the 3 of creation. That line you see, the straight angle line, connects the 2 U's of creation. If you look at the bicycle cards, it'll have that angle on it. And then you have the backward L and the U. So that's really creation. Now to show you the rest of that part, okay, the part that you didn't see. Oh my God. I got to write this down. I'm doing it while I'm with you, so you know. Let's see, this, Here's creation. That's it. That one line that goes across twice that you see, the lines all across, that's creation. What I did there is I took the 1. Now I'm going to show you the exact thing of what I worked off of. I know you won't understand. But the 1 gets split in half. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. The 2, you get 2 C's going the other way. Okay, what was the 3, okay, and there's a misprint, okay, now you have 2 C's. 1 C, the 2 C's split apart from each other. I told you that's a wrong line. The 4 becomes an 11, or it becomes an upside down U. Okay, these are all the 2 angles of God. You put them together, it made our numbers. Okay, those are the 2 angles. The only reason I use the 2 angles of God, okay, is because God's upside down on our head. Beta and us are the same way, except for the underworld. It has to be the other way. That's why the tail, where is it again? The tail tucks in here. 2 parts of the underworld, beta negative and alpha negative. They have to come back. This is Jupiter, okay? Now, this is Earth, okay? Number 3, Earth. Number 6, Saturn. Pluto. The reason you don't see Pluto 1 here is because the 1 here is branched off and given everything to 2. So it's 2 that runs all the way down and doesn't use Pluto anymore. They use this planet over here because you have to use 3 rows of 3. So they don't use Pluto. So what's before Pluto? They use Saturn. So Saturn is what makes the children of man. That's why there's 60 moons on it. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because the 1 is shut down here, and the one on the phone is shut down here. All creation is passed over to beta, who runs through 3. They run through 3 from here to here, right to Earth. That's all they have to do is control these births and deaths. Then you have the angle, which is here of the 4. It has to run, okay? It can't run. Here's the empty spot of 4. Okay, this is now the 7 in beta's world. Okay, you cannot go. This is a plug-in. Man is a plug-in. That's why the tail's on the inside here and the tail's on the inside here. That's why man's tail, which is one part of his sternum and one part above his buttocks, is underneath now, and the other tails that we don't see is tucked in on the back of our head. How do you think they tucked it in? When you turn over paper, right, for a present, you see the way it tucks it in? It has 2 points, you're putting it into 1 point, and they did that and they connected it from the back of our head. What do you think? It's just sewn up just like that? Everything is attached in its place, man. Jump up and down. You tell me what moves out of place. If your heart ends up down by your liver when you jump up and down, you come see me. You're the better doctor than me. And when you jump up and down, your heart stays in the same spot. Pretty cool, eh? You move all around. We got elastics all over the place, holding and moving everything back into place. Oh, man. 11:41. The witching hour. Oh, my God. I was going to do a cassette on the rainbow. I did 3 cassettes that stopped on me. One of the cassettes that I wanted to do is I wanted to show you where the Pontiac sign came from. And where the Pontiac sign comes from is the basics of God's triangle. There's God's triangle, there's the Pontiac. Now, how do we make them work? Well, what has to happen is I draw a straight line right through to start with, okay? We now have a teepee. Now I draw a line to the center, and a line to the center, and a line across. Now we have all the focal points. Now we remove what we don't do. We use that angle to create the Pontiac sign. The reason for the star in the Pontiac sign is because of the cross right there. And what you don't see, okay, is the X there. It's completion of my own, but the X ends up making that star. And where do those lines come from? Well, if it doesn't end in a corner of my paper, I have to continue the X. When it ends point to point in a corner, if it ends up tilted to one side, even when I do it on my paper, if I buy 1/5 paper or 1/4 paper and I do a design, it might be tilted off to one side. So I have to make sure when I buy this square paper, okay, I have to know which paper I'm working with, because all the designs will come tilted. Because this world was made a certain way, so the paper has to be, I think I'm working on 1/4 right now. Or is it 1/5? I think it's 1/5. I think I like the 1/5 better, because in a pyramid you got the 4 walls, you got the floor. 5 plus the point, you got 6. That's how you have man 6, because the pyramid comes out to that. You got the 4 corners, you got the 4 walls is 8. You got the 1 point is 9, you got the floor is 10. Oh my God. What about all the connecting rods in between to make the distance shorter for a meeting? So now you got 11, 12, 13, 14 on each side, and the one in the center. So now you have 15. So from one little pyramid that I started, it took 15 points to reach the center. And that's why the center of God is 1/5, because of the creation of a triangle that later got filtered in because we needed a house to live in. He put 4 walls and a floor and created the rest from there. That's how it is. It took 15. And that's why in pool you have 15. And it took all the energy of man, which is yellow, okay, in order to make the beta blue electronic world work. So what is that yellow? The yellow from the sun? The yellow energy, the egg and beta? Yellow is very important. Yellow is nice. Yellow and black is nice. Wow, I saw a zebra the other day. Yellow and black zebra. It's crazy. And then I said, push button 2, and you will dream this. Push button 3, and you will dream that. I don't even have to dream it anymore. I do it awake. Anyway, so now you know how we got that. I'm going to try and show you the rainbow. I'm going to try and show you how those plugs all connect. Each one is a number on your phone. But like you know, there's an extra line on the phone. It goes 4 rows on your phone. And the reason for the 4 rows... Okay, hold on a second. Let me show you a card before it's too late. Come on, baby. Give me at least one good card. There's a reason for the queen. There's a reason for the king. I want a 10. Okay, yeah, 9. Here's the reason for the 4 on your card. Okay. That's one of the reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The one on the bottom is a repeat. Okay. Because when I say 9, okay, 1 is actually does what 9 does, and 7 is what comes from creation. So they're negative and positives. 1 and 9 and 3 and 7. That's how you get the angle of God. So in here you got the center angle of this world. 2 opposite of each other, 2 opposite, and you have one standing up and the other one is upside down. Okay. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed. I got this in the mail. Okay. I restructured the whole thing because the heart was on the angle. The 6th part of the heart was on the top right in the 3 creation spot, but the bottom part was sitting in the 7, which means it got a passage to the 7 islands. Then again, the 4 started in the 7 islands and got a passage to 3 creation. So 3, 4 is what 4 does, and 6 goes over to the 7 islands. So that's the rotation of the negative of what happens with 4 and 6. And this is home plate, like you see in baseball. Okay? Oh, it is on an angle. It is on an angle. Okay? That's fantastic. What did he teach me? I don't know anything. I don't understand. This is all insane. I hope you get to see this because I'm tricked too. Someone's tricking me. Who's tricking me? How do I know any of this? Is any of this true? Does it make a difference? No, it doesn't. If I stop making videos right now and just continue and concentrate and write everything down perfectly, it would probably be a lot better than me doing what I'm doing. Because once I get onto a subject, it all turns into just one big thing. And for those of you out there thinking of the universe of 622.6, start thinking of 646, then think of 323, then think of 1111, because 323 is 1111. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5. The first equation of 622.6 is now 5 and finished to the left. To the right, okay, in 622.6, the 2 and 2 is 4, okay, but the 4 and the 6 can both be divided by 2. So one becomes 2, the other becomes 3. 2, 3 creation, 6. 2 plus 3, 5. 5 and 6, 11. You now have the universal question, and the answer to 1111 is because 1010 in this world, and you must work as 11 in order for both of you to connect. You both need the one spirit from the angle of the angel and the 2 spirit from beta to connect to this world, and it just repeats. Not only that, I had one other figure that I was going to repeat, which was this here. The gates of God for creation are 1 and 1. Okay? I mean, this is 3 of creation, but it's God that creates. So it's really 1 and 1. God owns both of them. So beta's in the center, because what he creates comes out in the middle. His creation is this. So now we have section 1, section 2, section 3, 1, 2, 1. What does it mean, 1, 2, 1? Well, 11 times 11 equals 121. God didn't make it to work in one place. He made it to work everywhere. So the definition can work more than one place. That way, it's easier to categorize. Everything in a category, okay, is a better capability of the stability for the correction mode to come in and correct. Thank you very much for listening. This is MrTacpans's 313. Why 313 now? Well, I just told you 121. Now we're removing the 2. We'll start creation to God and God to creation. Because that's what it was. The positive of God went into the negative 3 of create. No, it went into the giving energy into 3. 3 came back with the energy and gave it back to God. So 1, 3, 3, 1. 1, 3, 3, 1. Creation. 13 and 13, 26. Divided by 2 is 13. 7 by 13 is 91. 1 and 9 is 20, equals the beta world. 91 points on a suit in cards. 91 places on a piano to pick. 7 by 13 is 91. There's 13 weeks into a season in the Gregorian calendar. There's 7 days in what they call a human week, in which we have a weekend, which they call 2 days. So if we have a 7-day week and a 2-day weekend, we have 9 days. You see, the numbers all go together. 7, 2, 9, you can put them in Trinity because they all backdoor each other. You see, the angle like this, if you just have one positive, it'll stick into the other one, giving it energy, sticking it out to somewhere else, returning the ground. So we don't have to count that side. And then sometimes in the cards, the club card, you might see it like that, cut off. Because the parts are cut off because you don't need that energy. You don't. That's a negative energy. It's a connect. It's coming back to you anyways. When they say MrTacpans's 7286, well, the reason we don't put 7486 is because that's an expression of the 4 corners, the 4 angles of the female and male God. 72 is a 2 angle of man. Why the 2 angle of man? The 2 angle of man. I don't have the card. Here, the 2 angle of man. That's the 2 angle of man. Connect, connect. 2, 5, 8. 10, 10. One spirit goes in the center automatically. 11, 11. Now we got the boardwalk and the train tracks. We can start rolling now. It's been a beautiful day, 7286. The reason for the 8 is because of this 8. And the reason for the 6 is because of the 8, these 2 in the center don't count with the 2 6s here because they're the core. All they are is a transfer. The power comes from the corners. Power comes from all the corners. Negative, okay? Negative, bottom of the apple, 8. That's your freedom hole, that part right there. Anyways, 7286, they call me Raphael. I'm getting crazier by the day. But am I really? Let me look back at things. Oh, it's the year 2085. I'm sitting here and doing the same thing, what I believe. Now, if anybody's going to say you're crazy, well, does it make a difference if that's what my name is? Well, call me Raphael crazy. Call me Raphael MrTacpans's crazy. Tell me I'm a lunatic, but I'm sitting in my house and it's nice. Everything is paid. Everything is up to date. Nothing is actually out of order. I passed the vacuum 2 days ago. The cat litter is clean. The dishes are not done. Have I had any time to eat? I've been ordering in. Oh my God, if this tape ever works, you got to try this aloe vera. If you want to talk about water purification, my friends, it comes all in the aloe plant. Background of white, okay, fills up with nutrients, okay? These nutrients change colors, okay? But in the aloe vera, the only thing you're changing really is to the green. It's really not changing anything else. It's just a really nice drink, and it's really a nice plant. Aloe, angel love. That's all I see. When you see the E, inside this E is a teardrop. This is angel love. Not only that, it's a jack backwards, bent over with one eye showing. That's why we got the E-jack in this world. You don't believe me, eh? But that's a jack. In all actuality, that is a jack. Okay? He's got a one-eyed jack, and that's why the heart has a one eye, and the spade has a one eye, and I figured out a lot of things right now. The thing is, you got to understand one thing. You don't have to believe any of this, but I'm telling you, when I see something and I know it, but I don't have the whole story, I know it. I know it. I look, I see, I hear, I understand by the minute, by the second, every second of the day for the last 6.5 years. And you know what? The more I know I can withstand the pressure of the outer worlds, okay, the more I have the power in believing positive and no negative energy. Well, negative energy is always there, okay, because I think it, I said it, and you heard it, okay? But to know I can lean back and say the reality sits in the sky. And if I die, well, that's the end of this world. Accept it. We're definitely on another passage, and if I want to come back and take a peek into this world, I think if God's letting me peek into His world right now, right, when I'm in His world, He'll let me peek down, because I've been good, okay? Africa, we love you. It's Poppy in a couple of days. We figured out all about Rubik's. We figured out about pi, because that's really the only way to do pi. You can do whatever you want and tell me any story, but my way of doing pi is like this. You take the numbers and you keep turning them. Just like the chalice. You just keep turning it and turning it and then turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it until all these numbers have made all the combinations. Now, the next set of numbers is on another rod. But in between the two rods here, there's no bolt. They can both turn free. They can both turn free. So while this element of pi is turning, this element of pi is turning. So what you don't see is what's between these two. These are the iRobots. These are the arms that connect the circles together. This is the iRobot. So this arm turns and does its 10 combination thing, and this arm turns its 10 combination thing, all looking for pi. Okay? When it has to stop in the first gear. Because this world is just, it's all the same thing. You got the one spirit, you got the club connect for the mind, you got the spade body, and then it's man's life. That's the one part of pi. Okay? And 1, 4, 5 pi. Anyways, I'm not going to repeat it. 25 minutes. You had enough of me. Take a break. Come on. How much can you take of one person?
He ain't one. He just told us he's a piece of the pie. He's actually 4. He's presenting as 1, but he showed up. There's 4 of him. He's got 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils. Oh my God, he must be 6 with a mouth to speak. 7. Oh, watch out, he don't fart. That would be 8. He'd kick you with 2 feet. That would be 9 and 10 is 2 arms and touch you with every finger. Oh my God, I've made a spot, a mark in the snow. With every dot, we move forward. The dot is our nose. The dot of our eye. The dot in our ass. And for the girls, well, they don't have that dot, but we have the one blind deaf man who creates everything. It's the deaf that create. The deaf, dumb, and blind create, man, because those little fish are swimming all over. Oh, baby, they're coming out to create. Oh, look at them go. Oh, they're going, man. Next time I have sex, I'm going to go get out a telescope and stick it out there and see what they're doing. I'm going to get a microphone. I want to know if they're talking to each other or they're just rushing to the egg because they want to come into this world. It's a race, and here they go. And the winner is, it's a little sheep. Another you younging to the world of the electronic of Beta God. And God, we love you so much because you're the craziest guy in the world. I can never be like this if it wasn't for you. Ronnie, come back to Earth. Yes, what? Okay, yes. I totally agree with him. Yes, without God, well, who else is doing this? How in the world can I do anything and know anything this fast? This is insane. Agree? Am I a little high on myself right now? High? Isn't that what you do to get high? Look, Bin Laden, smoking a joint. Why would they put Bin Laden on that? Yes, I know it's not Bin Laden, but the picture, the minute I look about it, is Bin Laden. Z. Everything about Bin Laden says something went wrong. And it wasn't. It can't be him that did that whole thing. I've been doing these numbers for a couple of years and stuff, and how can I like a guy? I don't take any compassion with a guy, But the numbers, the pictures, the red, he's like the Allah God, He was there to save that whole industry out there, and he had to hide underground because they were after him for no reason, because there was a reason, because a negative and a positive had to work out their differences, right? So they met, they turned around to both become positive, and one was more positive and negative about the one who was positive and green about the whole thing. Bin Laden and green. That's what the whole thing was. He was green. They knew if they killed him, they'd make a lot of green by creating. That's what the connection, I think, is right here. He was good, that means he is green. He was life, Bin Laden. Okay, so you want to say something bad about me? Okay, now, here's the other side. If that guy was a meanie and he was a killer and everything, then I hate him and I'm happy he's gone. But I don't believe it. I don't believe the story. I believe the other 2 guys is a problem, but I don't believe his story. I haven't believed it since day one. It didn't make any sense.
You want to go out and get somebody? Don't ask me. All I know is there's a little part of Italy that has a chicken above the head, and anybody who trots around and puts on purple says he is royalty. Before the people make the choice, okay, just because he's the head, okay, any human that says they are royalty without choice of the entire public is not royal at all. It is more imperial or impersonal to be that way than to hang around and walk around with a cape that's purple. Okay? And go watch your TV programs and cartoons and songs and colors and racehorses and pool balls, and you'll see that the 12 ball is purple, which is 3, which is creation. So the one who walks around says he is creation, and it's not true. You represent the creation. If you walk around with anything, you should have yellow, blue, and red around your neck. Okay? Even added some black, okay, and white for the background. Don't walk around with purple. Okay? Unless it's a shirt to wear or something you put over your sleeves. Now you're representing for them their color. Okay? And when a whole suit is purple, you end up to become the Joker. Pluto. Pluto is yellow, but Pluto is also purple when God's around and creating with Beta. Beta, navy blue, and God red. Okay? The turquoise ocean color of the 9 in another racetrack shows the birth of the salts of the Mediterranean, which is the birth of the angels in the Mediterranean. We also have that in the Baltic Seas. And that is one of the big reasons that the Asian people are so high on their Buddha, because it's 100% Buddha. You see, Buddha is the B for the Baltic Sea, the Buddha angel, the L for life, the T for the crossroads, the transfer, Jesus cross, the connection of the I world in creation. Baltic, Asian people, Philippines, very high. And all their designs and the way they talk and everything, I wish I can understand it and do it, because it's all cut because they, you know, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. That's their language. Because it's all designs that have changed and it went into talk. So it's like saying dot dot la na da 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 la na na da da la na na. You know what the easiest words for me to say is? La 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 la. You know why? Because my tongue hits on the top of my palate and it stays curled like a jack, and it bounces me back down. So you see how important that jack is? Just that jack, okay, even part of it, it's a spring. So jack is like a spring. I told you, it's a jack of all trades. It does many things. Jack hooks and jack trades and jacking the earring, and whatever you jack up, you jack out, you jack off, and it's all the same thing. Once you're jacking, you might jack up, just jack it up all the way. Jack it down all the way until you find your feet are back on the ground. But before you become a jack of all trade, be nice, be cool, everybody. It's all about us, my friends, but it's all about us sharing.